Everyone is gone. Not dead. Gone. 8 billion people simply absent. Mid-sentence, mid-step, mid-commute. And for about 2 hours, the world doesn't notice. Lights stay on. Trains keep running. Kettles finish boiling in empty kitchens. Then, one by one, the lights start going out. And the thing that comes next isn't decay. It's water. Water is what takes the cities, and it starts within days. Let's set the rules honestly, because this only works if we're precise. Every human vanishes at once. No bodies, no disaster, no damage to anything else. Every building, animal, plant, and machine is left exactly as it was 1 second ago. Everything else about physics and biology stays completely real. Now start the clock. The first hours. Almost nothing happens, and that's the eerie part. Power grids keep running because they're largely automated. Traffic lights cycle for nobody. But grids need constant balancing between supply and demand. And with nobody adjusting anything, that balance fails fast. Within hours, most of the world's electricity is gone. Some systems, a few hydroelectric plants, solar arrays with automatic controls, keep humming in the dark for a while longer. The first days. This is when the real force arrives, and it's not what people expect. It's groundwater. Cities are not naturally dry. Beneath every major city, water is constantly trying to rise, and we hold it back with pumps that never stop. Underground rail networks are among the most pumped spaces on Earth. Leave them alone for a couple of days and they flood. Not eventually. Within about 48 hours. The subways go first. The first year. Now the real demolition crew shows up. Water and temperature. Rain gets into buildings through the first failed seal, the first cracked window, the first blocked drain. Then winter arrives. Water seeps into concrete, freezes, expands, and pushes the material apart. Thaw, repeat. Freeze-thaw cycling is the single most patient, destructive force acting on our cities, and it runs every year, forever, for free. Meanwhile, fire finishes what we started. Lightning ignites buildings with no fire service to respond. In many cities, whole districts burn, and the animals begin their reshuffle. Nearly all domestic animals dependent on us, most livestock, many pets, don't survive long without care. But animals that were competing with us for space simply expand into it. Deer, boar, foxes, coyotes, wolves, and every kind of bird move into places we never let them go. 20 to 50 years. Roads disappear before buildings do. Seeds land in cracks, roots widen them, and asphalt breaks apart within a couple of decades. Grass, then shrubs, then trees. Steel-framed buildings are strong, but vulnerable in one specific way. Steel rusts, and reinforced concrete has steel inside it. As that steel corrodes, it expands, cracking the concrete from within. A process engineers call concrete cancer. Buildings don't gracefully fade. They shed their facades, then their floors, then collapse. Wooden houses are largely gone within a few decades. Termites, rot, and fungi are extremely efficient. 100 to 300 years. Most major cities are no longer recognizable as cities. Bridges fail, skyscrapers come down, dams silt up or breach, and the rivers behind them return to their old courses. Forest reclaims temperate cities. Jungle takes tropical ones far faster. And here's the part that surprises people. This isn't hypothetical. We can watch it happening. Areas abandoned after industrial accidents and conflicts have become in a few decades some of the most ecologically rich land in their regions, dense with wildlife precisely because we left. 1,000 years. Almost nothing above ground survives from ordinary construction. What's left are the anomalies. Deliberately massive stone structures, pyramids, certain temples and monuments, things built with no metal to rust. and no spans to collapse. Now for the twist, because there are two, and they point in opposite directions. The first is that the atmosphere heals faster than you'd guess. Emissions stop instantly. Air quality in cities improves within weeks. But the carbon already in the atmosphere doesn't leave on any human timescale. A substantial portion of it stays for centuries, and a fraction lingers for many thousands of years. So Earth's climate wouldn't snap back. It would keep running the experiment we started, unattended, long after the last of us is gone. The second twist is stranger. The longest-lasting evidence of humanity isn't a building, it's a layer. Geologists read Earth's history in strata, and we've written into that record permanently. A distinct band containing plastics, concrete, aluminium, and radioactive isotopes from mid-20th century nuclear testing, none of which existed naturally before us. Compressed into rock, that layer becomes a permanent page in the planet's geology. Long after every skyscraper is soil, we'd still be legible, not as cities, as a thin, unmistakable line in stone. And there's something quietly generous in that. We often talk about humanity as though we're the fragile part of the equation, as though Earth needs us to keep it going. This scenario says the opposite, clearly. Remove us, and the planet doesn't struggle. It exhales. Forests advance, rivers straighten themselves out, populations rebound, and life keeps doing what it's been doing for nearly 4 billion years. Earth was never in danger from us. Only the version of it we depend on ever was, which reframes the whole idea of protecting the environment. It isn't charity toward a helpless planet. It's self-interest, honestly stated. We're not saving Earth. We're trying to keep the specific arrangement of it that we can live in. So here's tonight's question. If you had to leave one thing behind that would still be understood in 10,000 years, what would it be? And what do you think we'd want the record to say? Every question creates a new reality, and reality is just one version of the truth. Every possibility deserves exploration. The next one begins with a single question. What if? Subscribe and explore what comes next.